of Osage Beach is now in session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go Navy.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Karen Bowman. Fred Catcott.
I'm here.
Randy Gross.
Here.
Gloria O'Keefe. Here. Jeremy Green. Here.
Are there any corrections to the minutes of our December 20th, 2023 meeting? If not, the meeting's,
Make a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
okay, accepted. All in favor? Aye. The Board of Adjustment is a committee created by the Missouri State Legislature and governed by the revised statutes of Missouri, 1986. It is a committee for the city of Osage Beach and functions under the Circuit Court of Camden County. Composition of the board is prescribed by RSMO 1986, section 89.080, as having 5 full members and 3 alternates. A variance requires an 80% vote of approval to pass. This means 4 affirmative votes. Therefore, 4 members must be present to convene a meeting. If only 4 members are present, we do allow the petitioner to delay their hearing until 5 members are present, if the applicant wishes. In order to grant a variance, the board must find that special circumstances exist which are peculiar to the applicant's land, structure, or buildings that do not generally apply to the neighboring structures in the same area and cannot reasonably be addressed within the existing ordinance. Also, if strict application of the provisions of the city ordinance would deprive the applicant of a reasonable use of the land, structure, or building in a manner equivalent to the use permitted other owners in the same district, then a variance would be granted. The board must ensure that special circumstances is not the result of an action of the applicant taken subsequent to the adoption of the ordinance on May 10th, 1984. It is incumbent on this board to help ensure public safety by not granting a variance that would obstruct the functioning of the fire, police, and ambulance services in the performance of their duties. It is not the intent or purpose of this board to eviscerate the Planning and Zoning Commission or perpetuate ongoing nonconformity with city ordinances. Appeals of the board's decisions must be made to the Camden County Clerk, not to the city of Osage Beach. In a few minutes, all interested parties will be allowed to address the board. We ask that you step forward to the microphone and state your name. You will take an oath to speak to the truth in this matter. We now call up case 352. The applicant is Chris and Sarah Brand. Have all the legal notice requirements been met for their hearing?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they have.
Has the city made a prudent effort to notify by mail adjacent and otherwise obviously affected property owners?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we did.
Were there any written responses?
There was not.
Would the city planner please describe the variance requested and the conflict with the ordinance?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just real quick, I want to remind the board that as of the last meeting that we had back in December of last year, we're no longer using a court reporter. We're actually recording each of the meetings. So if you could do the best you can to try to speak into your mic so everybody can be heard as best as possible. If you have questions or comments, we'll go from there. So proceeding to our case, Mr. Chairman, first I'd like to enter in for the record as exhibit number 1, the municipal code of the city of Osage Beach, and as exhibit number 2, variance case file 352 for Chris and Sarah Brand. Basically, this is a situation that probably 4 of you have seen in the past, in that we have a request that is, one, the reason we're seeing it does not meet the required setback regulations, specifically on the front setback in this one. But also, it is Zone C1, and they are requesting an addition or an expansion of a residential use within the commercial zone, which requires a special use permit be granted by the Board of Aldermen. So the first thing that I will report to you is that the special use permit request has gone to the Planning Commission at their meeting last week, and they have forwarded the special use permit request to the Board of Aldermen with a recommendation to approve. So ultimately, in order for them to be able to get a building permit to do the requested addition, they will have to get approval of this variance and then ultimately approval of the special use permit from the Board of Aldermen. So it is on its way to the Board of Aldermen in January. What we have in front of you today is Chris and Sarah Brand. They are requesting an addition to their home located at 870 Pintail Lane. Simply put, what they are requesting is an addition to, which is actually the back side of the home, if you look at how the home sits on the lot, that will encroach to within 23.4 feet of the front property line, which is actually the Northwood property line that borders the side. The reason that it's coming to you, if this was actually, if it wasn't the front setback in a commercial zone, the setbacks are quite a bit different than they are in a residential zone, so we probably wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't the front setback. But within the city of Osage Beach, the front setback is the only what I would call concrete setback that we have in the city, where you have to have a minimum of 25 feet. So that is actually the request that is in front of you today, is a request from the 25-foot, a variance from the 25-foot setback on the front side to allow an addition that is 23.4 feet from the property line. This, of course, is one of those homes that if you've been there and you've looked at these enough, you see that is once an old resort, and a resort that probably dissolved probably sometime in either the early 80s or the late 70s, and became and was sold as single-family homes to individual owners. This particular piece of property was purchased by the Brands during the COVID time when we were selling sheds in town for houses, it seems like. And at this point, they have bought several of the properties around them, and may look to expand or build a new home in the future, but for the time being, would like to expand this home to be able to fit their growing family. So with that being the case, I will hand it over to you if you have any questions of myself. They do have a representative here. It will be their builder. If you have any questions of him, we can certainly get him up here. If not, I think I'm probably capable of answering anything that you may have.
Carrie, are they going to build on the end too, where the concrete steps are now?
They are building on the back.
On the survey, it shows a new proposed addition on the right-hand side of the house.
It is, yes, on the right-hand side, they are building that, but it is not within violation.
Okay.
So,
And basically, it's where the lower patio is and where the deck is.
yes.
And
Yep.
that's
Yep.
the extent of it.
And I mean, obviously, Chris and I talked about, well, you can cut the corner off the backside of your new addition and make it 25 feet, but candidly, there comes a point when some things don't make sense to what they're trying to do. So I encouraged him to go ahead and put this in front of you all for this request.
Nothing?
Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Make a motion to pass.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Does the applicant desire to amend, add to, or clarify the reasons for this request?
They do not.
Okay. Is there anyone that wishes to comment in favor of the variance? Okay. Then I
Make a
think
motion to pass.
I'll second that.
Let me just real quick, if you want to ask about the attorney, typically, if he has any comment, placed in front of you this evening was a memo from the city attorney saying that everything had been reviewed and it was good for your decision. So I wanted to make sure that I let you know that and have added that to the case file. Outside of that,
Okay, the chair will accept a motion on the variance request for case 352. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussions from the board? Will clerk please take a roll call votes?
Jeremy Green.
aye.
Gloria O'Keefe. Randy Gross.
Yes.
Fred Catcott.
Yes.
Karen Bauman.
So the variance is passed. Any further businesses?
I guess all I would say is one, hurrah, we had one meeting this year, so we've earned our steak dinner in March. That's excellent.
Introduce Jeremy.
And give me a minute. And then we've got Jeremy Green. He's our new member. Was it?
Probably a year ago.
It's been a year ago that he was appointed, but we haven't had a meeting in a year. So I would say, and this is just me spitballing, from what I've seen so far, I would expect that we will get together a few times in 2025. There is actually going to be a lot of things being done in the community, a lot of construction being done in the community, and, a lot of hopefully with the economy on the right track, people will have some extra money to build onto their homes. And if you were to take a look at the number of new homeowners in Osage Beach since 2023, you'd be shocked how many 1 to 2 year owners there are in town. So those folks we can expect to start wanting to do some work on their homes. Other than that, do you all have anything of me? Any questions? Anything you've seen?
Well, I entertain a motion to adjourn. So adjourn. Okay.
Yeah, Randy and I met Chris when we were doing Driftwood, when we asphalted that. The road district did that.
yeah, so you
Yeah. He did the paperwork for that.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sorry I was late. So, we met him. He was kind of the president.